You guys have any idea how excited this little guy is for the next episode? Lucky for him, here it is. Ooh, the coffee and the mustache, not a good look. We've got a priming day today, which means we've got a lot of accessory movements to make sure that we are recovered and ready for the rest of the week. But first, food. We've got 2 bagels, 189 grams of beef, 3 eggs, 2 slices of cheese. Prep the body with food to get that bag. Is that what the kids are saying these days? Hi boys, we are on a little bit of a buddy walk, but raindrops are starting to fall on my head, and Buddy does not like the rain, so unfortunately we're cutting his morning walk a little short, but he'll thank me for it. Never, because he won't understand, because he's a dog, but he's a silly dog, so he'll be okay. Pre-training food: 220 grams of Cinnamon Toast Crunch, 16 ounces of Fairlife fat-free milk. Delicious. And bada bing, bada boom, we are on our way to the gym. I'm a motherfucking poet, homies. So, something about me that you probably already know, just because I'm just so handsome and all of that, is I'm a master debater. If you give me the topic of, should you take a nap right now, or should you go back to sleep, I will give you the most reasonable explanation as to why you should currently take a nap. So, I took that, I ate my pre-training meal, and I got downstairs and I was like, I'm really tired. And then I remembered that Joe and Bree, they say, eat your pre-training meal about 30 minutes before you train. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna do that. So I ate that training meal. I went downstairs. I was very tired. I already said that once. And I was like, I'm gonna take a 30-minute nap. And the 30 minutes, Buddy was in between my legs, so I wasn't super comfortable. But Buddy nap. I was like, I'm still super tired. Maybe I should take 30 minutes more. So 30 minutes turned into an hour, and an hour turned into an hour and 30. And then my roommate came home. Sorry. Some roads that are 2-ways should not be 2-ways. So my roommate came home, and they started crying because they started doing combat sports and then got combat sports related injuries. Hers always ends up being her left foot or ankle or something, because she didn't grow up kicking trees like the Russians, and she's got this fascination with kicking people in the head. And I don't know if she can reach, but she keeps kicking people in the shins. So yeah, losing that battle. And then decided to make it my problem. So I decided I'm not at home anymore, and I'm not going to be home until I come home to go to bed. So that's what I got going on today. We are at the gym, or we're not at the gym, we're going to the gym, and we're going to train. We've got reverse grip lat pull down, trying to emphasize what we really want is a 2-count hold at the top and a slow eccentric. And the eccentric on a lat pull down is different than the eccentric on other things, because other things you're thinking the eccentric is the going down part, but it's really the stretch part, and accessories are stretching under a load. And then we've got head supported rear delt fly supersetted with hex push-ups. Hex push-ups are just push-ups with dumbbells, but the dumbbells have the hex heads on them, so you do it like that. Yeah, same thing. except the eccentric is actually the going down part. Trying to make sure that I'm full slack at the bottom of the movement, so I get the best rear delt and lat stretch that I can get with the dumbbells that I'm using. I'm using 25-pound dumbbells, so the stretch isn't going to be super lat intensive. It's going to be more rear delt intensive, and so that's a positive that we're going to get out of that. And then the hex push-ups, we're really trying to stretch out the chest because we're increasing the range of motion by being on those dumbbells, and we want to feel that stretch in the middle of the chest so that I don't have to feel like I have to crack my chest. And then we've got incline dumbbell press, supersetted with slow eccentric incline dumbbell press, trying to touch the dumbbells as far out as possible. If we can touch the biceps, that's good. If not, just the outside of the shoulders. That's just a mobility thing, and that stretches out the top of the chest. And we're going to do those super quick because 26 reps is a lot. And then those are the final whispers of the nap that I was taking. I could get some Dunkin' because I haven't had any caffeine today, because I tried to make my coffee this morning and I found out we were out of coffee. Well, we weren't out of coffee, we were out of caffeinated coffee. So I made some decaf coffee, and decaf coffee is like masturbating to try and get over your fear of talking to women. Just doesn't work. So I think I'm gonna get some caffeine in me, get a half calf at least. Yeah, that's a good plan. Because you want some carbs while you're training anyways. I do have my intra-training carb drink. I've reduced the amount of scoops of Gatorade that I put in there from 3 to 2 because the 3 was giving me belly aches, and I think that's a little bit too much magnesium. So we got that, and then we've got chest-supported, zero acceleration seesaw dumbbell rows. Those are annoying, but those are heavy enough that they will stretch out the lats a bit, as well as building up that neural connection with the squeeze at the top, and it allows us to kind of focus on one arm at a time and build that neural connection at one arm at a time. I tend to think of one arm the entire time, so oops, not super good at that. And then we're finishing off with some dumbbell curls light, get a sick pump, and then dumbbell curls heavy, get a sick stretch. So it's 3 by 20, 30 seconds rest. Those are light. Try and do those with more than 20 pounds, and you tell me how that goes. Especially trying to be not swinging the dumbbells, trying to have a full supination the entire time, and not being a gym hero. And then we do it heavier for 3 by 8, 2 minutes rest. So that's what we got going on today. I am now on my way to get some coffee to kind of evict the sleepiness that I have in my body. Would I grammar's hard. Would I have had to have taken, wow, English is hard, that nap if I had coffee with my breakfast? I do not know. But coffee and cocaine might as well be the same thing, except one is more acceptable than the other, and I prefer consuming tasty objects. And I've never done cocaine, but I'm pretty sure you can't taste through your nose cavity. And I'm basically like a toddler. I like dirty. I need Mike. Was it dirty sugar milk or caffeinated chocolate milk? That's acceptable coffee usage. So I want hot coffee, but iced coffee I have to do. I'm gonna get hot coffee anyways. It's 3:18. Normally I say no caffeine after noon, so I guess I'll go half calf. I'll go half calf. Hi, can I get an extra large half calf hot coffee, caramel with regular cream and sugar? Anything else? That'll be it. Thank you. I could tell by the screen they fucked it up already. Woo! Lick my foot fungus and call me a fun guy. Boys, we had a preparatory day today. Everything went super good. We had the reverse grip lat pull downs. Those went super good, super smooth. Those actually felt a little light, which means that the hangover that we've had the past week, the lifting hangover, when you lift really heavy and you really tax your CNS, that's the most fun way to get a hangover. Alcohol's bad, boys. So we got that lifting hangover last week, and this preparatory day is almost like a lifting cure for a hangover, that kind of hangover, because motion is lotion. We're still getting some sort of a stimulus. We're getting pumps, and everything is going pretty well. And so those lat pull downs were a little bit easier than expected. We did 4 sets of 12 of those, 90 seconds rest. Oh, I'm a little out of breath there. Moved pretty good, got a pretty good lat stretch. And then we moved on to the head supported rear delt fly supersetted with the hex dumbbell push-ups. Now, the head supported flies, those are kind of like a hit or miss. You can either go, I try to slow down the dumbbells on the descent just so I get at least, like, you can feel the twitch a little bit. If you're experienced enough when it comes to lifting, you know what I'm talking about, feeling the twitch of the muscle when you're doing an eccentric is really important. So getting that twitch going on the eccentric on the way down is the way that you get the stimulus, the way you tax the muscle. But it's mostly a stretching exercise, which is weird and a little meh. But I didn't really get the hypoxic response that I was looking for on this today. So we might have to increase the weight next week. I'm not sure, and we're at a weird point in training where all we want to do when we're not in the gym is eat and sleep, because our body is trying to constantly keep up with the rate of recovery that we need to have in order to be as successful as possible as we can be, because we're in this block of lifting heavy. Now, I have a weird kind of peaking cycle just based on the way I am as a lifter, the way that I am physically predetermined to respond to stimuli. We have a lot of data on that from my coach Joe Sullivan and I, and so it's almost like a hyper undulation peaking phase, where we have last week where we went super heavy on squats and bench, and then this week where we're not really going super heavy on squats and bench, but we go super heavy on deadlifts. So it's like we're flip-flopping between going heavy on squats and going heavy on deadlifts, and then bench is just going along for a ride with whoever its best friend is for the moment. So I don't know if we want to increase the weight next week because we're going heavier on squats and bench. You don't want to overtax the system. It's a weird kind of conundrum that we've got, where we want to balance recovery and stimulus and fatigue. So it's definitely something to consider, because like as we're about 10-11 weeks out now from the American Pro 3, so we don't really want to add anything that's going to add fatigue to our system. So I might keep those the same, acknowledging that we're not going to be getting the best stimulus, and keep it as a motion is lotion kind of deal, where it might as well be a bodyweight exercise, and we're just doing it for the recovery aspect rather than looking for any sort of growth or gains from it, and making sure that we almost put all of our bread in the squat, bench, and deadlift basket when it comes to doing accessories. And we kind of, I mean, I don't want to say sandbag the accessories, but I was talking with Dave Tate last week on the Table Talk podcast. I don't know if it's going to be up by the time this video comes out. It might be, but he was like, training's a lot like a power bar, like a video game power bar. Like, you can do your squat, bench, and deadlift. That's going to take up 80% of your power bar, and anything else, your accessories, that's got to fill out the rest of the 20%. So you're not going to be able to go balls to the walls with the rest of your accessories. What you really got to do is really focus on what you need to focus on with those accessories, and that focus for me personally and probably most of you, is acknowledging that accessories are stretching under a load. Build up your flexibility, build up your elasticity in your muscles and ligaments, build up your ability to recover. So we got that idea going on there. So after the that second movement, we did the incline dumbbell bench press, set of 20 plus 6. We did 4 sets of that, 90 seconds rest. Another one where it's like, I didn't really get a hypoxic response. I didn't really struggle with this at all. But we're going to keep it, I think we're going to keep it the same moving forward for the rest of the blog, because we don't want to be adding fatigue to the system. And we're really just trying to have these movements have us in a better position to be recoverable from our high intensity training for the rest of the week, while also getting blood flowing in preparatory for the rest of the week. After that, we moved on to the chest supported dumbbell seesaw 0 acceleration row. Say that 5 times fast. Those are pretty good. I was me shit talking myself before this movement really helped me with that mind muscle connection, making sure that I'm able to get the squeeze on both lats rather than just focus on one lat at a time. So, you know, these quasi diary entries actually have some benefit when it comes to getting bigger and stronger. And then we finished off with the dumbbell curls, light curls, then heavier curls. Those got me a really nice bicep pump. I was feeling good. I sent Snapchats of myself flexing in the mirror to all the ladies. One lady, it was your mom. But anyways, I just got home. It is time for me to, I'm gonna change out this shirt so that I'm not super sticky doing Uber Eats, and people can just assume whatever sweat is the whatever sweat smells on the when they're receiving their food, it's just the Chinese food that they're getting, or it's just the fast food that they're getting. It's not me. I swear it's not. It's my first time. I swear. Throwing a hot dog down a hallway. Anyways, I'll see you guys with some of my thoughts while driving, because I have a lot of alone time when I drive, for that to be alone with my thoughts. Scary proposition. Very. You know what I don't understand is like, people listen to heavy music in the gym, because I get it. You need the jump, 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 and then it really gets to your heart, and your heart starts going jump, 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 jump. You know, you need that like filthy bass, like I am the storm, motherfuckers. Like it makes you feel a certain way, right? But like, you can only listen to so much heavy music. So it's like, I feel like there's a lifting maturity point where you go from listening to you know, like the heavy metal, the heavy rap, the heavy dance music, like whatever heaviness floats your boat. Because I have done some research, some psychological research on myself, personally, and others, where the good music for the gym is bass heavy music, because your heartbeat really, like, if it's loud enough, you can feel it in your chest, and your heartbeat starts to kind of tune in with it. There's no scientific evidence for that. This is just empirical evidence that I've found. A lot of people like it when there's really heavy bass in the gym. So why do you still listen to it when you're not in the gym? When you're out and about, when you're going to do grocery. Sorry, I got interrupted by a really shitty Uber Eats order request that I promptly denied. 11 miles for $7. Suck my dick. Like, when you're not in the gym, what do you listen to? I listen to a lot of, like, I found that I started listening to more and more classical music and more like orchestral pieces, some Bocelli. Oh, Bocelli. Ugh. Yes. Great music that you're like, it's music that people think you're better than them when you listen to it, and yes, I know I don't have my seatbelt on. This is New Hampshire. You're allowed to drive without your seatbelt on, and I'm doing Uber Eats, so I'm in and out of my car every 15 minutes. I pretty much mostly just put my seatbelt on when I go on the highway in case, you know, the worst comes to worst. But, like, I think it was when I watched Your Lie in April. If you haven't watched Your Lie in April, it's about a competitive pianist player who loses the passion for playing the piano until he meets a girl who is a concert violinist, a competitive concert violinist, but she said, fuck sticking to the program. I'm gonna play so that I leave an impact on anyone listening to this music. And it just gives you straight goosebumps the entire time. It is a show that has gotten me banned from picking shows, because ever since I saw that, and I was like, wow, there are TV shows out there that allow me to feel emotions. So a lot of the TV shows I watch are very emotional, and not like I can't get into the, oh, explosions is a cinematic plot device. No, it's like, I feel like at one point I said the best story is probably two people sitting at a table talking about how they got there. And then I saw a movie that was exactly like that. And it took that to that idea even further. It's called Predetermined Destination with Ethan Hawke, and it was which came first, the chicken or the egg? And it's two people I think it's at a bar, if I recall, and they're just talking. They just discuss the story of how they got there, and then who these people are gets revealed, and you guys should go see it. And 2024, it's probably an even better movie. Yes. Yeah. Anyways, because it deals with trans things and stuff. But yeah. So, like, I started listening to more and more classical music after I watched Your Lie in April, and then I discovered Bocelli. And I discovered how Bocelli makes me feel. Like, I listen to music to make me feel a certain way. And the music that Bocelli sings is it's either really happy, really sad, or really triumphant. And that's basically the litmus test as to what music do I put into my playlist. Now, I get banned from putting myself on the Bluetooth at the gym because my entire playlist is good music that makes you feel a certain way, but it's not music that makes you feel like a boss in the gym. Because once I started listening to music for the emotional part and connecting with it for the lyrics and making sure that I feel a certain way while I'm listening to it, and it's like almost like a mental recovery, then I realized you only need the heavy music every once in a while. And then I noticed you only need that heavy music when you're doing your squat, bench, and deadlift, when you need it. And we get into this novel stimulus kind of concept because nicotine is technically a positive influence on lifting. It is a stimulus that has positive benefits on lifting, but you don't want to use it every session. Now, it's also a very addicting substance, so the only time you should stick a Zyn pouch in your asshole is when you're on meet day and you need that novel stimulus. That's why I don't use nose torque or ammonia when I'm in the gym, because if I need that novel stimulus for something, then I can pull that out of my bag of tools and whatever I need, and, like, you know, use it when I need it, instead of requiring myself to need it, and then I'm fucked if I don't have it. You become dependent on stuff like that. So now, the music I listen to in the gym is vastly different than what it was when I was first starting lifting. And I don't know if it's a gym lifting maturity or another personal maturity wise that things are different now than they used to. And I'm having to, I've changed the way that I approach even that small stimulus of what I'm listening to while I'm lifting. Now, when I'm in the gym and, oh man, I'm close to a Walmart. They keep sending me dog shit Walmart orders now. They've sent me 3 so far. Now when I'm in the gym and I am not doing squat, bench, or deadlift, I am listening to audiobooks, because you don't want to masturbate with sandpaper all the time. You don't want your girl to peg you every time. Where was I going with this? It's like, what was it? If you shoot a bullet out of a plastic gun too many times, the plastic gun is going to break, and you are a plastic gun. So like, every time that you're like, when you recognize that accessory movements are stretching under a load, and you know how to get the proper stimulus that is being afforded towards what you're doing, where you're actually getting like the hypoxic response when you're going out and about and doing things in the gym. You're getting a good pump, you're getting that stimulus, and everything's going to plan. Like, then you kind of mature as a lifter. And I was talking with Dave Tate, and I really hope the podcast has come out by the time this video posts. But he was talking about, a lot of what we talked about was, what's the difference between an intermediate and advanced lifter? And I'm like, is this like almost maturity, where you recognize you don't have to be strong all the time. Your ego can take a back seat when you're doing things that no one gives a fuck about. That might be a point where you've reached the difference between intermediate and advanced, because like the difference between beginner and intermediate is really well defined. It's when you stop getting your newbie gains. Really easy. But what's the difference between an intermediate and advanced lifter? Because you can get really fucking far being an intermediate lifter. But it's almost like the difference between, I feel like I personally have only just gotten out of being that intermediate lifter, because I've learned that the old ways that I was going about things was not necessarily the best way to do things. And then there's the whole putting the ego in the back seat and having it come along for the ride, when you don't need it to be in the driver's seat all the time. Sometimes you need to do work in order to have recovery. Sometimes you need to do work to be also all strong as fuck. And it's not always the same thing going on there. So I have yet to get my first like legit Uber Eats request today, and I am already sitting in the parking lot with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 restaurants with Uber Eats active. So I'm not gonna drive around, because it's stupid to drive around while doing Uber Eats. You just gotta park yourself somewhere and hope that people order from the restaurants that you're sitting next to. Saves on fuel, saves on everything. Miles on your car for sure. So if I have another bout of inspiration, I'll share that with you guys. But that's what I'm doing. Uber Eats, yo. So I just delivered McDonald's to a couple teenagers. Mind you, it's 9:30 at night on Sunday. Who lived on a chicken farm, and they were just doing donuts in a golf cart. I thought my childhood was cool, but I never did donuts in a golf cart. I forget sometimes when I do Uber Eats runs that I'm making a video because I go home and I'm like, awesome, I'm all done for the night. And then I'm not. We got dinner. 7.5 ounces of pasta, 222 grams of beef, 400 grams of homemade pasta sauce, and a little bit of love, because it's actually garlic. Garlic and love are synonymous with each other, because I made my own pasta sauce. I put more garlic in it. I'm good at cooking. Oh, I've got cheese in my beard. I need to fix that. But we've got our last food for the day, which is pumpkin muffins. Let me actually get this cheese out of here. I did not eat cheese, I swear. Don't tell Brie. Don't tell Brie. There we go. So you wanna spike your insulin response right before bed, so that you can utilize the IGF-1 while you're sleeping a little bit better, so that you recover better, build more muscle. So my last meal of the day is supposed to be like 2 English muffins. It's 2 bagels with jelly, but I've been doing English muffins. But I've been doing crumpets specifically, but my landlord ate all my crumpets while I was at the Elite FTS. So last minute pickup for these muffins, which I did heat up. But after I eat this, I'm going to go take a dump, and you guys probably don't care about that. And then I'm going to sleep. So this is me signing off. See you guys tomorrow with a squat day.